Hello, hello, hello. Welcome to Let's Talk 1943. We have another great episode. I'm Regina Smith, your host, and I will be your moderator for today as well. So I got two jobs. So we'll go ahead and introduce our guest, and we'll go ahead and get started. Our first guest this evening is Rachel Mccants. She was born and raised in Dallas, Texas. Rachel published her first book, Ladies as We Love Ourselves, a six-step program to self-worth. And in 2016, Rachel's health was impacted in a major way. A brain tumor inspired Mccants to create R. Lindsay Unlimited, a business devoted to encourage, inspire, challenge ladies to discover and raise their self worth. So, welcome, Rachel. Rachel, thank you for joining us tonight.
Thank you for having me. So excited to be here today.
I am too. It's going to be a good one. So, the other guest here is Rose Guya. She is a professional hair braider. She's been braiding hair since she was 9 years old. And she has a lot of knowledge to bring about hair braid and just hair in general and about clients and their journeys with their hair. So I would like to welcome Rose. Welcome
Hi,
to the show,
everybody.
Rose.
Thanks for having me.
Oh, no problem. Thank you for being here. We're really excited. So welcome, welcome, welcome again. Thank you for joining us. We have another great episode and we're ready to talk. So if you're ready, let's talk. All right, we're back. Before we get started, I will go and do our prayer like we do every week. If you don't just give us a moment. Lord Heavenly Father, thank you, thank you, thank you once again for allowing us to be here on this platform to be able to inspire, uplift, and encourage our listeners. And I am praying that this episode will touch someone in a special way. In Jesus' name we pray. Amen.
Amen.
Amen, amen, amen. All right, so let's go ahead and just dig into this show. And I would like to introduce, of course, our Carla Morgan as our co-host. I know everybody know Carla by now.
Hey.
You know, everybody know about Carla by now. And it's just us two this time around. So we'll see Andrea next week for our anniversary show. We'll talk about that a little bit as we get into the show. So let's go ahead and get started. So the show, as you know, the title is I'm Not My Hair. So this is going to be a broad range of hair questions and comments and things about hair. So I want to start with last week we did a corporate show. We did a show about the corporate world, and that kind of made me think about it. And I was thinking about like hair, and I just saw an episode just the other day with Living Single when he had to have the issue about his hair and not getting a position because they were trying to get him to cut his dreads, and that really made me think about the corporate world. So what do y'all? I'm gonna throw it out here. So what do y'all think about the corporate world and natural hair? Anybody could take that one. Don't be scared.
Well, I haven't been in the corporate world for the last 7 years, so I'm a business owner, so I left all of that behind. But thinking back to when I was in the corporate world, I had my perm at the time because I've been natural 7 years as well. So yeah, the stigma about it was more then than it is now, obviously. But I always kept the perm on, and I, made sure that I had an acceptable hairstyle. Just back then, the natural and the braids was kind of sort of frowned upon. I remember when I went for my interview for that job, I had braids actually before I went, and I took them down. And I made sure I scheduled an appointment to go get a retouch so that it would look, it would look presentable. So yeah, there was that back then, but thank God it's not there now.
Yeah.
It might be there, but I don't know.
It's more acceptable, but what you said is I made my hair more acceptable. You heard what you said, right? So that's what we thought was acceptable. So we was doing it to ourselves because we was like, well, this is not acceptable. Me going in like this is not acceptable. Right. So we got to a point that we thought our hair was not going to be right until we got it straight
Right.
and permed and relaxed, right? So, I mean, I would say, Rachel, I know that you, we're going to get into your journey about the other section of your hair, but just for the corporate part, what do you think about that and being accepted?
I am the same as Rose. I had the same inclinations when going into corporate, and to fit in better, I had my hair relaxed, but not even relaxed. I had extensions, and I made sure I had sew-ins so I could, whip my hair back and forth. So
You had the water cooler, like, what? What you say?
because it was already one thing, and I know this is not the topic, but it was already one thing to be black. But then to have my hair a different way from everyone else's, I just didn't feel like I fit in. So I kept my hair relaxed. And when I did start growing it back out naturally, I kept sew-ins in my hair with the closures and everything. So it was completely covered.
Isn't that something? Carla, what do you think about it? Because you've been natural for a minute.
Yeah, I've been natural since 2005. And I was already in corporate when I decided to do the braid, to grow my hair out, to go natural. And that was around the time of the big movement. Everybody was doing it. And I started with braids, and I did that for like 8 months. And then one day I said, you know what, I'm ready. I had like a good 3-4 inches, and I did my puff. And I came into the office like that with a puff, for the first time. And, a white woman said to a coworker said to me, "Oh, well, that's a little bit drastic, isn't it?" And I was like, "Oh, okay, yeah." So that was my experience of being natural in the corporate world. First off, So they used to see me with I had the wrap hairstyle for the longest time.
The doobie.
And then I went from that to braids. And then after that, after 8 months, I just came into work with a puff. And that's the first person that said something. Wow, that's drastic, isn't it? In the bathroom. Yeah.
And the thing about it, see, and I mean, and that was the big thing, even with the sitcoms, and there've been a couple shows that kind of touched on that topic about your hair. It's kind of like, do you want to check or you want to make a statement? Which one? It kind of puts you in that realm that you don't really have too many. Well, you have choices, but most of us are not outside of the realm of like, I really need to eat. So, so you kind of just put your nationality, your culture, and all that to the wayside because you don't want to lose your job. And then that excuse, I mean, that not excuse, but I guess that statement that she made to you was kind of like, are we going back to the motherland? Like, what is this? Like, we going back to Africa? So they don't understand it. And when people don't understand it, they see it as bad, not just different in who we are. I think now, because it's kind of like mainstream, that they had no choice but to accept it because everybody's doing it now. It's not even a situation. I think more people are natural now than they are not natural. Like before.
Definitely.
Right?
Definitely.
Yeah,
Definitely.
So it's totally different now than it was before. Totally different than it was before. So
and I love it.
Yeah, you love it, you said?
Love it. I am here for it.
I know. It's nice though. It's nice to have options, and that's the case too, because nothing wrong with you if you want to relax her. Nothing wrong with it. That's your choice, but that's the point. We didn't have choices. We had to do that. Now we don't have to do it. If you do it, that's great. Do you, And there's a lot of people who straight, they don't have relaxer, but they just blow their hair out, and do a silk press or whatever. Carl, I introduced them to doobies the other day. I had to tell them what a doobie was. I was like, this is a doobie. They were like, a what? I was like, oh.
We didn't hear that definition or the description of that hairstyle. I think I've had that hairstyle. My cousin used to do my hair. She's a hairstylist. But I've had it. I just didn't know it was the correct term. So.
Yeah, she knew the term because I was like, the doobie. I was like, you go to the Dominican shop and get that hair blown out.
Yep.
Woo. I mean, and your hair just grew because you wasn't messing with it. You just wrapped it every night.
You just silk wrap it.
Yes, it wasn't so nice and long and this thick. My hair was down in here. My hair, I was just like
and bouncy.
Huh?
And bouncy.
And bouncy. Yeah, we bouncing
There's
all
so
over
many
the place.
compliments on my bouncy hair. People in the
Yeah.
street be like, your hair is so flowy. I be like, 'cause I know how to do that doogie.
He's like, so
Every,
flowy. I'm telling you. So, you the thing about is having choice. And we, just like any other person in this world, have a choice. We should have a choice too as Black women to be able to wear our hair the way we want to wear it. Of course, it has to be appropriate for a work environment. It still could be natural. But, you can't come in here with 8,000 colors in your head and working in a Fortune 500 company. We got to be realistic. But you should be able to wear your hair in a state that it grows out your head.
Exactly.
Why am I straightening hair that's coming out of my head? Like that don't make sense. Think about it. It comes out like this. What I suppose it is every time do all this stuff because you're not happy about how my hair grows out my head.
Right.
It doesn't make sense.
And the beauty about our hair is it's different for each and every one of us. Our curl pattern is different. Some of us have a straighter strand of hair. Some of us have a curlier and tighter kind of hair. So, you also got to learn how to take care of your hair. So the way I do my hair or take care of my hair isn't the same way, say, like Carla will take care of hers. The products that I use are not the same as what Carla will use or you, Regina, or you, Rachel, because our hair is unique to each one of us. And it's just beautiful that we can now discover who we are, with our hair as well, whereas it wasn't accepted in the past. Or we weren't allowed that platform to do that.
We wasn't at all. We wasn't at all allowed to do any of that. So, you made a good point. The different textures and different hairs, because now we know about 4Cs and 4As and 4Bs and mixtures of each. And we didn't know all that before. We didn't have any of that before. Like we didn't know the terminologies of the different curl patterns and stuff that we have in our head.
I doubt that they existed. Did they even exist?
I don't know. That's a good question. I don't know if the patterns came up after the fact, if somebody just named them, or they were there already. I don't know.
That's
a good question.
Yeah, I believe they were just labeled, just I guess people can know what products to get for what. So if you have
and it still doesn't work that way because you can have 4C or whatever, and that product could be for 4C, and it still doesn't work the same way that it works for that 4C head.
Exactly.
But I think a lot of us have mixtures of hair.
Yeah.
Yes, I have clients who sometimes have straighter hair right here at the back, like real straight. And then when you come here, it's a little bit curlier and then less curly in the front. My daughter's the same way.
All the way around your head, different.
Exactly, yes.
Right. So it's kind of like say it'd be a product junkie. You got to buy a bunch of products and figure out which one.
Figure it out.
In the beginning, they made so much money off of us who were trying to figure it out. It was terrible. We had so many products. It was terrible.
They still are.
They still are. Yeah.
But it's so many more choices, and before you didn't have too many people making their own concoctions up because you didn't have that many choices, and now you have too many, and you're like, okay, they got smart though. They got smart because that relaxer kit was hitting you, boy. Everybody was getting relaxer kit, and now everybody's like, oh, I have a system now. It has the curl stuff, it has the shampoo, the conditioner, the all this in the kit. So now they have like natural hair product kits for you to buy. It's just crazy. So I'm gonna ask you, Rachel. One of the reasons why I asked you to come on the show is because you have a great story to tell about why you had to cut your hair off. Because cutting your hair with a big chop is not always just because you want to be liberated, and it's sometimes medical reasons. So, Rachel, you want to tell us about that?
Sure. And as you said, my hair cut it off, but I actually pulled it all out. So in 2016, a grade 3 brain tumor was discovered on my pineal gland. And I've been through radiation and chemo, and I was bald twice. One of my brothers is a photographer, and he got this picture of me when my hair was growing long.
Beautiful girl.
I love this picture.
He's a model.
Yeah. Thank you. No. He's like, I need to capture this moment right now because I don't know if you'll ever be like this again. But yeah, it took me to rock bottom because I didn't realize how shallow I was until I was bald twice. And I just pulled out all of my hair because my hair was hurting during radiation. I did proton therapy, and it's very specific lasers, and it was all in my head. And so my head was tingling. And so I just was running my hands through my hair, and chunks of hair just started coming out. And so I just pulled out all of my hair. And that was that. I had never known what I was going to look like. I was nervous, but God brought me through. That's all I can say.
Man.
Amen.
I mean, and there's so many women that's going through different cancers and tumors and stuff that they got to go through chemo and lose their hair. And like you said, I think when you lose your hair in a way that you didn't choose to, it's not like you wanted to cut it off. You didn't choose that. And you already have enough on you that you don't feel good as it is. So you kind of question, like, how do I look? You know, I feel bad. So do I look bad too? And then, you know, we were talking about how, you know, some people lose their eyebrows, their eyelashes, the whole, like all their hair. So you don't feel good as a woman, you know, and then you think that you're supposed to have hair. And I'm glad now it's not as dramatic. You know, more people just like, just give me the clippers. I'm just going to shave it off and I'm good. You know, it's not like it used to be when you just were like, oh my gosh, I have no hair, you know, but it's still, but Rachel, it plays with your mental, right? When you don't have hair, right?
Yes, it does. And I would like to add, my hair on my legs, I was happy that hair went away, though, you know. That was a nice relief. So be, you know, less.
That was a plus.
But I did lose all of my hair. But yes, it did play with my psyche. And again, that's like where the shallowness came from. Like, I did not realize that. I thought I was my hair, or, you know, that is such a thing that we believe that we are our hair, or our hair makes us, because I was always known as Rachel, the girl with the thick hair, the thick long hair, and I had no hair. I had a bald head. It was beautiful. Thank you, Jesus. And people kept telling me they didn't know that I had such a beautiful shaped head. So that was nice. And so I got to see myself fully. So that was nice.
And, you know, and I think was it Tiffany Haddish? I think she said when she cut all her hair off, she said everybody should cut their hair off at least one time in their lives, just to see their scalp and see their head and feel their head and look at their scalp and see what's up there. Like, it's like you need to do it at least once in your life to see what's under all that. So that's a good point too. So, and you was saying that you was known for being Rachel with the thick, pretty hair, and then your hair, the thick, pretty hair is on the floor. So who are you now?
Exactly.
And you didn't know who you were. That was the problem. You didn't know who you were because you thought you was the thick hair girl, and now you have no hair. So am I still pretty? Because you didn't see me for what you told me was you saw me for my hair. And now it's not here. So what do you see me as now? And that's deep.
Yep. And that's where the book came from, the 6-step program to self-worth, because those are the 6 steps I used to regain my self-worth and identity in Christ and find out who I really was, or who I am. Here I am.
But see, and that's it. You that's how God works, though. He puts stuff like that on you when you think it's the worst thing. You come out with like a rose out the ashes and make a book to help other women, and not just because you lost your hair, but just to know who you are, period. So you won't even question yourself about stuff like that. Like, that's not even a question. You shouldn't even feel bad about that. So Carla, I think we have one comment we could go ahead and answer.
Sure. It was Linda McDaniels Evans. She says, so glad that I realized I am not my hair.
Amen.
Woo! Yes, Linda. We go to the same barbershop. Yes. I actually been natural since 2009. Well, I have cut my hair before. You know, I had always kept a crop short cut anyway for years and years and years. After the doobie stage, I cut it off. I kept it short. But actually going to the barber and having him buzz me down to a Caesar, I had never done that before. And I did that in 2019. And I went in there with my hat in my hand. And he kept on saying, like, why you bring your hat? I was like, I don't know. I was going to look. I don't know. I may have to put my hat on, to leave. He's like, you're not going to need a hat. And when he started cutting, he said, your head good. You got a good shade. You good. But I still was holding on to that hat. Like, okay, that's what you said, but I'm not sure. And when I looked in the mirror, I really loved it. I was just like, oh my gosh, I can't believe I did it. It felt so liberating just to not be attached to something and being just raw. You know what I'm saying? So, because Rose said, and I'm going to let y'all know, this is my hair braider that's up here. She had braided my hair for almost 2 years straight, almost every 6 weeks. Literally, I had a crochet style. Okay, y'all. I should have brought the picture and put it up here, that crochet style that she rocked my hair, because I was so scared. And that's another thing I want to talk to Rose about too.
I remember.
Yeah, you know, I used to rock that crochet.
Yes. Yes.
And she did it in a way that it was just like it looked like your hair, because she braided braids in the front, and you couldn't even tell it was crocheted, and you was like able to pull your hair up in the back. Yeah,
I just did what you wanted.
But we created that little, like, we worked that.
Sure
We
did.
figured that out. Because she was like, okay, well, how you want to do this? And I said, do this. And we figured it out. And after we got it down, she was just doing the same thing over and over again. And, one thing I did learn from Rose, too, is because a lot of times we don't like trying things and stuff, because we get stuck in the ways of just doing, getting scared and stuff. And she introduced me into color. She was like, why don't you just put some highlights in it? Just put some color in it. I went from putting like 4 strands of color until I was
beautiful.
Until I was like, I need 27 and 30, please. I need 27 and 30. And I was all blonde. I was doing all blonde at the end. So it makes you open up and try new stuff.
Right.
And trying new things is not just your hair. It just makes you feel better as a person, to be able to say, oh, okay, I got out of that comfort zone. I was able to open up and do new stuff. And it makes you do new stuff in other things too. It's not just your hair. It just opens up the door for others.
Yes.
That makes sense?
Yes.
So Rose, tell me, we were talking about before about how some women don't know how to live without their weaves and their braids. Like they never let nobody see their hair for 20 years. Like they'll go take it out, go home, wash it, go right back to you, put it back in, and then they haven't seen their own hair only a couple times a year.
Wow.
So what do you think about that?
Yeah, sometimes some of my clients do that because it's just out of the way. You're busy from when you wake up to when you go to bed. You're busy, and you want your hair to look presentable, and you don't have time to say, if you have natural hair, it takes time to do your hair. And people think going natural is, oh, I'm not going to do my hair anymore. No, you got to take care of it. So for them, braids is just like a, protective style. So they just keep coming back and doing, say, the same style over and over again. And I really don't like to do that because it messes with your edges after a while, especially if you don't give it some time to rest in between. So I always advise them that, keep your hair for about a month to a month and a half. And if you want to keep it longer, just come on back and I'll repair the edges, especially the hairline in the back. Or if your hair grows really fast, you can see if it's hanging by, the strand on the edges. It's time to repair it or take it out.
Yeah.
So and don't do the same braiding hairstyle over and over and over again, because it pulls on your hair strands, the same hair strands in the same way, and that's pressure that pulls it out. That's in my experience. Since I was 9 years old, of seeing, what happens to your hair when you braid it, and also doing it to my hair. I mean, there's a time I was braiding my hair for a year straight. I did not see my own hair for one full year. And it damaged my hairline. It really did. The good thing is I know how to braid, so I would repair the hairline, but still it wasn't healthy. Yeah, so
right.
So what happens with people that wear weaves and stuff, like literally for 10, 20, 30 straight years? Like there's women out there who have nobody never ever seen their hair.
Well, yeah. I mean, and with the weave thing, depending on what kind of weave you're wearing, if you're doing sew-ins, obviously that's better for your hair long term.
It is?
Because the sew-in, it's your hair is braided.
Okay.
And then the hair is sewed onto that.
Sewed on top of it.
Versus if you glue the wig or the weave on, or the wig on, really is what people do, then if your glue is on your hairline, you know what that's doing to your hairline. With time, those chemicals get in there and your hairline starts, breaking. It's unfortunate that has become
the norm,
a factor now, because if you look back, that's how they wanted us to look, or we thought we looked presentable with the weaves or with the wigs, and so the glue came on. It's just an unfortunate situation. But if you're not into that yet and you're thinking about going into it, just be sure not to put the glue on the edge of your hair. And I believe even since the glue was invented, before us going natural, when the glue was introduced into the market, I never used it. Even when I did weave, even years back then, if somebody wanted to get their weave glued on, I would be like, no, I don't do that. I just felt like it wasn't healthy for your hair.
Yeah. And I think the hair, and one thing too is this stuff is getting introduced to our kids way earlier. Like we were, and I mean, when we started looking at that, we was just going to college good when like the weaves were really getting popular. Like for us common folks to get weaves, we started seeing that in like the late 80s. So imagine now these kids are like 12 and 13 and 14 years old wearing, getting the wigs and putting the glue on and wearing these wigs to school with little baby hairs and all this stuff. And they're so young. And so they don't realize, a lot of them are doing it themselves. They're not going to the salon, or they have friends that know how to do it and whatever. And they putting the glue on too far up and it's getting ripping the, edges. And I mean, even I have like a little spot here that I have to get faded in because it's growing, but it's real peach fudgy. It's not growing past that. So that's damage from doing things on my head. So it's like these kids don't realize, like, you're going to be here, hopefully, God willing, for another 50, 60, 70 years. You need to try to keep, even though now they have things for your edges, I see that you go actually buy hair to put on your edges. Rachel's like, yeah. You saw that, Rachel?
I did see that. But I really appreciate Rose for bringing up chemicals, because I never thought about glue having the chemicals in it to really damage. Like, I thought about it pulling it out, and I was like, when I used to do the glue in my hair, because I did used to do the glue, but I never thought about the chemicals. That is such a good point. I'm glad you brought that up.
Well, chemicals in general too, because we never really thought about relaxers being a damaging thing. But when you think about your skin being as poised as it soaks in everything. You put coconut on your skin. You did it for it to soak in, to give you that skin, Imagine those relaxers are soaking into your brain. Soaking into your brain. So we never even thought of stuff like that.
Yeah, the skin is the largest organ of the body. It takes in everything. And it goes into your bloodstream. That's why fibroids are connected to relaxers.
I heard about that.
Oh, really?
Yes.
They talked about it a couple weeks ago. I was looking at TV One, and they were talking about how that is a correlation. They can't really say it's not like a, they're just saying a correlation that they said that it kind of goes with it.
Wow.
I never knew that.
So
So I'm gonna throw a word out to y'all, and y'all tell me what y'all think. Okay, you ready? Nappy.
I don't like that word.
Go ahead, elaborate.
I just feel that there's a stigma behind it. Even though it's most of the African American community, we use it a lot because, hey, girl, your hair is nappy. Come over here, let me fix your hair. So, it's kind of like just a talk that we talk, and it's normalized, but then it's also become a negative. It has a negative connotation to it right now. I feel like, girl, your hair is nappy. Like, it's like a bad thing. So I don't like it. I just believe that everybody's hair is different. Just because I have a tighter curl doesn't mean my hair is nappy. It just means I have a tighter curl.
Right.
It's just a negative connotation of it that I do not like. So I don't use the word.
Okay. Anybody else want to talk about that? Anybody has a Rachel?
I just want to say, when you said that, I just wanted to say, if you nappy, you ain't happy.
Yeah.
But yes, it just rhymed. That's all.
All right, MC Rachel.
Like Rose was saying, it definitely has been a struggle, and it is a derogatory term, or it doesn't seem well when your hair is nappy. But what is nappy really?
Exactly.
Like,
What is nappy?
why is that the term used, or why is it so derogatory? Or the first thing that comes to mind when our hair is somewhat out of control in someone else's eyes.
Right.
Good
Or
point.
the texture bias.
Right.
People who have 4C coarser hair, they consider that nappy versus somebody that has a looser pattern. So they say, "Oh, your hair is nappy," and then that goes deeper.
Right.
And,
And if you raise your child and that's they hear that constantly, when they become an adult,
it's not a good thing.
It's how are they gonna accept who they are, accept how their natural hair comes out of their scalp? Are they gonna accept that, or are they gonna think their hair is just nappy?
Good point. So that brings us to what we were talking about a little earlier, but let's get a little more in depth with it. So if people are not comfortable with their hair in general because of being raised, a lot of times a couple people could say a couple things to you several times in your life and it impacts you, changes your life. If somebody tell you, "Oh, you ugly, you got your hair nappy," or whatever, that starts something. And then you have those women that will continue to wear weaves and stuff because they was not accepting their own selves.
Exactly.
So it's okay to wear your hair with wigs and weaves and stuff because we have that option to change our
It
looks.
is. Yep.
That's the beauty of it. It's fun. But when you're doing it because you're not happy with what you have and not happy who you are, that's the problem. That's where the problem lies at. It's like if you're doing it to hide from yourself, because you can't look at your own self in the mirror at your natural state and say, "I'm beautiful just like I am. I don't have to wear weaves and wigs." Right, Rachel?
Well, no. Oh, you can finish your sentence. I was waiting for after you finish your sentence.
Oh, no. She was like, I'm next.
Well, I just wanted to add on that you're hiding from yourself, but I also think some of us were taught to be this way, like in the celebrity world and how their weaves are, and that is what's beautiful. The fake hair, like not the realness, is what we are taught to be, and so that's what we strive for.
Good point. But I do see a lot of celebrities now are coming more on a natural side, like they actually showing you like I'm natural and I'm embracing who I am. And I think it's deeper than hair. Hair is just an element of an element of the solution or the problem based on where you see it. Hair is just what it is. It's just hair. That's why we said we're not our hair. We make ourselves our hair, and that's the problem.
We're taught to make ourselves our hair.
Right. We identify ourselves on our hair more than who we are. So if I decide to wear my hair like this, I'm still Regina.
Right.
Regardless, but I could do it. I'm okay with it. I'm comfortable with it because I'm comfortable who I am. A lot of people that, remember back in the days when you did the big chop, you didn't do the big chop. You did I'm going to cut the all way.
I did that.
Like every month you were going and like cutting an inch off.
The braids back in.
Back in. Yep.
And then you put the braids back in.
And then seeing the growth, but then not enough. So I'm gonna go get some more braids. Yeah. And I chopped my own hair. I did it. I stood in.
I did too.
And it chopped away. And I looked at myself and I was just like, wow.
I did too.
Okay, and made a beeline to the African shop to get the braids in. That's what I did.
A beeline.
But I did the same, but 3 months ago, I actually went bald completely.
Oh.
How was that feeling?
It felt awesome. But you know what? I chose the wrong time to go bald, the wrong time of the year. My head was so cold.
Girl, I keep hats in my hair in the wintertime now. It'd be so cold. Like I know what my daddy was going through. My dad used to always put a hat on, his little toboggans and all that on. And because he was bald. And he was like, "Baby, it's cold out here." And I'm like, "It's not that cold, but I see hair really holds heat."
Yeah, it does.
You get sick, get a head cold going out there with no hat on when you have no hair in your head. I ain't trying to do that.
It was very liberating.
Yeah. So go ahead, Rose. I'm sorry.
No, I was gonna say, and for at least 1 month, I could say I didn't have to do anything to my hair.
Nothing. Put some little grease up there.
Nothing. Zero.
So nice.
No. Carla, we have a couple more comments you want to hit.
Sure.
Thank you, ma'am.
Okay. We got Ken Green. He says, love natural hair.
Oh, that's good to know.
One of
Thank
our
you.
brothers.
It's good. That's what I'm saying. One of our brothers. That's what I'm saying.
Yeah.
That's good.
You know, and Nahual, I hope I'm saying your name right. Welcome. He says, what about white people with dreadlocks, for example?
Ooh.
I don't know. That's interesting.
Well, let's go. Okay, I'm going to answer yours, sir, but let me go back to King, so I wanted to touch on that.
Yeah.
A lot of times I think what happens too with women, we get kind of uncomfortable because especially if you're maybe single and out there dating, whatever, and you kind of want to, you're not comfortable with yourself enough to really do that. And I guess Rachel said, conditioned to say that this is the look that men like, women like, this is the look that corporate likes. They like this look. And you're scared to be who you are because you think you're going to run off somebody, or a man's not going to be interested in you if you're natural. And my answer to that is, if he can't take you who you are, honestly, I know that everybody says that and like, yeah, right, but it's true. Because he's going to see you one day in the house with your hair. It's going to happen eventually one day. You're going to have to take your hair down eventually, unless you're going to be hiding, doing it in the middle of the night while he's sleeping, and get your hair done. He's eventually going to see your natural state, and he's going to love you for what you are and who you are all the way through. If you have wigs, weaves, whatever you have, if he doesn't, then he's not the right person for you. You need to find someone that's that likes natural hair, like he just said. What do y'all think about that with men and women hair?
I just have to say that thank you, Ken, for commenting. That is the guy I'm dating, so I am glad he's liking the natural. Thank you for
all right. Well, there you go. There's your answer.
There it is. But that is really a thing that I used to be concerned about for a long time. And I will never forget when I was gluing in my extensions, a guy that I was talking to, like how he figured out it was weave. I was so shocked. He went through the sides, my edges, and he right. I was like, what is happening? And so you just never know.
So what is happening?
What is happening? But I used to really have that preconceived notion that, guys just want the straight and the natural natural, the weave. They like the look, not necessarily the actual person that you are. Yeah.
Mm-hmm. Wow. So he somebody taught him, I guess it was a God thing. Like somebody was like, you want to know it's real? Let's go through right here. Go through right here.
Run your fingers through it.
Right. It's going to get stuck right here. It's going to get stuck right there.
I could not believe it. I was just like, what are you doing? But he was just like he was going to run his fingers through my hair, and I just could not believe it. I'm still shocked to this day. But
I guess that was the test they had. I guess it was a running test. They all know, most people were like, is that your hair? I'm like, no, it's a weave. So you don't even have to do all that. It's a weave.
I ain't hiding it.
I mean, why? Because you're going to eventually figure it out anyway. Especially if you change your hair, you're getting your hair done, you're going to get different hair every time. Like your hair going to be like a body wave one time, and then going to be ocean wave the next time, going to be straight the next. People like, what's going on here? Then it's going to be 18 inches, 10 inches, 12 inches, 10. I mean, come on. He's going to figure it out eventually. You can't hide that. And these days, it's supposed to be normalized these days. That's what you see on TV. It's a bunch of long hair all day, every day. So, and everybody got baby hair now.
Mm-hmm.
Everybody has baby hair. So, but the baby hair was it was it's supposed to be like, oh, you got baby hair, now everybody has it. It takes the fun out of baby hair. Like some people, what I'm saying? Like everybody has the baby hair. I don't know.
I think it all goes back to knowing who you are and knowing that you're not your hair. And obviously with this in the past with society, and even now, society just dictates what's beautiful. Mm-hmm. And if you are so hang up on that, then you don't know who you are. You let society tell you what to think about yourself, how to carry yourself, how to wear your hair. Thank God that we're not doing that anymore. Myself, I'm like, you know what? I'm gonna be me. If you don't like me the way I am, whether I have braids or not, and is that your hair? If I have a weave, it's my hair. I paid for it.
That's right.
So it's my hair.
You're like, no, it is.
Right.
Yeah,
So,
it is.
and if I want to cut my hair, I'm gonna cut my hair.
Mhm.
I mean,
So,
when they want to cut their hair, do the women have a say in that?
No.
nope, not one iota.
Well, be you and I'm gonna be me.
When they
If they
want to
want
grow
to,
their beards,
if they want to grow their beard or grow, why isn't that a thing?
Yeah.
good point. Good
Mhm.
point.
And
No,
Rose, I actually have to get there with my baldness. When I lost all my hair, I really tried a lot of wigs, and I was wearing them because I was hiding myself and trying to figure out who I was. But it got to the point where I was tired of wearing wigs, and I was like, "This is who Rachel is."
Right, right.
You know, and I quit wearing wigs, and I never
you're
thought I
allowed
was tired of them, but I was.
And you
Get
should be
tired.
allowed to freely do that. There's a year that I was wearing a wig all year. When it was hot, girl, I would be going to work, come back home, I would throw that thing across the room. Because you gotta be free to express yourself the way you want to express yourself, the way the rest of the world is allowed to express themselves.
Exactly. That's the point.
Why are we limited to long hair or curly hair or straight hair or why are we limited? Why can't we just be different and who we are?
That's how it's supposed to be. That's how it's supposed to be. Let's get back to the other comment that we have here. I don't know, Rose, have you ever had any Caucasian clients that ask you to braid their hair or dreadlocks or anything like that?
No, ma'am.
No.
They do that on their own. I think they don't go to anybody. They know better than to go to a black stylist.
But to be honest,
no, but they dreads, I mean, I see them.
Yeah, they do it themselves. They do it themselves. I don't think they go to a professional and get that done.
But naturally, Caucasian hair does not lock.
That's what I'm saying.
There's no way for it to lock.
Yeah.
Well, the way that I see it, I say when I do see it locked, I'm assuming that either they have to I'm just assuming because I don't know, but I wonder if they put in coarse hair to lock, to grab onto it, and just don't comb it, and eventually it mats up with the hair they put in there or something.
You know what? Let me just take that back. I don't know how they do it because you need that curliness and that tightness and that tangliness for your hair to lock. So I don't know how they do it.
Well, he's saying that what about people with dreadlocks, white, Caucasian people with dreadlocks? Like he's saying, like they already have them, they're existing already, so they already have the dreadlocks. So I mean, I don't know if that is a question just to say about knowing who you are, or because some people feel it's like a free spirit thing. That's what they may feel is like, they feel they have the same rights as everybody else to do whatever they want to do with their hair. We can't really limit the rights. The rights go across the board. Everybody has rights to do what they want to do with their hair.
But if you think about where did dreadlocks originate?
Mm-hmm.
Is it a Caucasian thing or a black thing?
Well, of course, it originated with us, but like I said, we can't really limit freedom. You know what I'm saying? Like, even though that's what they're doing, I mean, that's just my opinion. I don't know. You can limit that or not. You can't. Just like we wanted to have the look of the straightness, they want to have the look of the.
No, our hair is straight.
Mm-hmm. Huh?
Some of us
have the straight hair too.
African Americans have straight hair.
Mm-hmm.
So it's not like we're trying to have straight hair. We have straight hair.
Yeah, I'm talking about with the weaves, like with the weaves and stuff. You know how you put the weaves in, they kind of like the acceptable thing.
Right, but so if I go to the store and buy a fro right now, my hair can become a fro if it wanted to. And if I go to the store and get a weave, my hair a straight weave, my hair can be, some African American hair is straight
already.
So it's not like you're trying to be something you're not culturally.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, that's a whole nother. That's a good point.
Yeah. Because people always throw that, and black people say, "Well, you over there, you trying to look Eurocentric, and you're trying to look white when you wear weaves and wigs. Y'all just doing the same thing with us. Y'all biting off." And it's like, no, that's not the case. That is
some of our hair is straight.
Yeah, that's a good point. Yeah,
some of our hair doesn't need heat to be straight. Some of our hair is blonde naturally.
Yes, that's a fact.
That's true. All different colors. So, but all right. So Now, when we're talking about the hair psychological effects of hair, Rachel, do you feel that is there enough support or support systems for people? Did you have that support system when you went through your loss with the hair?
By the grace of God, yes. My community, family, and friends, like, seriously surrounded me. Even people I don't necessarily even know, but like friends and family really just came in and surrounded me because, it was really hard for my parents as well because they had never seen me bald. I came out with a puff. Like, they called me a Cabbage Patch doll, like when I was a baby, because I've always had hair. So it was really hard for my parents as well to see me with no hair. And so
Mm-hmm.
everybody was just so loving and supportive. And I really never knew how loved I was. Yes, I've always felt loved,
Mm-hmm.
but it was just a different type of love. And a story that is coming to mind that is hilarious, and he did not mean it any kind of way because he's a young boy. Um, some of my dear friends, they have a nephew, and I love him to pieces. And like, he knew me pre-tumor and after tumor and everything. And I went to their house. He was staying over, and I went to their house, and they told him before I got there, "Don't say anything about Rachel's hair." And he said, "Okay," but he's a young boy. And
Yeah.
as soon as I got in there, he said, "Rachel has a ball cut fade." And like ran off and just energy. But it's just the
Oh
funniest
my
thing
gosh.
Rachel has a ball cut fade.
He thought
Oh.
that was a joke. He thought that was funny.
Yeah, but it was sweet. I just got all the love from everybody around and was very supported. And when my hair started growing back, people kept asking, "Are you really gonna let it grow back?" And I'm like, "Yes." But I really enjoyed the short period. Just washing it, deep conditioning it, and putting a little product on it and letting it curl up and go. The
Mm.
best. But so it was just really nice. And people were just like, I think, and now even to this day, they're like, "You don't want to cut it again?" I'm like, "Maybe, we'll see." I have options, as we have all stated
Options.
today.
The option of doing what you want to do. I think that's what we mostly was fighting over, like going to corporate world and all that, was the option. I should choose. If I want to wear the weave, that's fine, but I should not have to be restricted to just the weave, tearing my edges up because I'm working in this place. I should be able to be free. And but I think that I think corporate may see what, like when your hair growing out, it feels wild, or no, it's not tamed in the way they see in it. And I think they get kind of like, how big is that going to go? Like, how big is going to and it's like, it's not supposed to be tame. My hair grows out like this. It grows out like literally like this. So it's not going to be
That's why Carla got that reaction, drastic reaction.
that drastic that drastic Don't say that drastic reaction.
Yep.
Exactly. That's something else.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, well, Carla, we're gonna get ready to wrap up soon. So if you want to go ahead and I think we have one more comment.
Yes. Now, who else says "I love you, girls"? Is this on Spotify?
Oh, well, yes, it is. I'm glad you asked. Yes, it is. It's on Spotify. It's under Let's Talk 1943. So this Let's Talk 1943, and all my shows is on there, and this one will be on there tomorrow. So yes, thank you for asking. I appreciate it. Please continue to watch us. We love to have our Let's Talk crew commenting. So thank you so much. So, but all right. So what we're gonna do here is we're gonna go. Let me see. Have my go on 1 second. So what we're doing now for Let's Talk 1943 is a new year coming up. Next episode is going to be our actual year 2 episode. I mean, our year 2. So we're on year 2, episode 1. So it's going to be our anniversary. Thank you, our anniversary episode. So we are actually doing sponsorships. We are asking, and we open up the doors here for sponsorships and advertisements. So if you're interested in advertising on our show, it's only $15 a show. You give us your media flyer, we'll post it up here, we'll advertise it, and then you'll be on, as well as our media flyers that we advertise every other week, or special occasions like this one, on our flyers. So you'll be advertised all over the place. So it'll be a well worth $15 investment for your business or company or organization. So if you're interested in that, you could definitely contact us. at www.letstalk1943.com. So if you're interested in doing any sponsorship opportunities, we'll get your information out there and you fill out the form and we'll get you out there and get you advertised. And we'll love to have you as partners with Let's Talk 1943. So next thing that we want to talk about is, let's see. I am so excited to offer this workshop. It's called Ring Out Your Sponge. We have a beta test that we're about to do March 1st. So we're looking for, I think, 6 more women or men. It could be men too. It could be men too. But we're looking for 6 more people who are interested in joining the beta test of doing a workshop. It would be every Tuesday, only 1 hour for 4 weeks in a row. It's going to be a bunch of motivational speakers, and we're going to go through the journal and bring out these sponges, these insecurities, these issues. So maybe this will help you go free to your head. Maybe you just let it go after you feel comfortable in wringing out all those things that you've been holding you back in life. So if you're interested, only thing we ask you to do is purchase the book on Amazon, and the book is less than $9, and that's all we ask you to do. And the workshop is, this one is a free workshop, but we will be charging, of course, eventually after we go through the beta testing. So if you're interested in doing the free workshop to help us get to the to do the workshop, please just contact us once again at www.letstalk1943.com. That's our website, and we'll be able to get your information. Just fill out the little comment part. We'll get it, and we'll get you signed up to do the beta test. It's a wonderful. We have some great motivational speakers lined up. It's going to be a beautiful time. So please join us if you're interested in doing that. All right. Let's see. All right, and then like we were talking about before, our actually show. Bless you.
Excuse me.
Our show is on Spotify, we on Breaker, we on Anchor, and we on Google. We on 6 platforms. So please, if you can't watch us, you can listen to us on all those platforms for your podcast. So please go ahead and listen to us. We would love to have you as Let's Talk fam. So just join us. We'll be able to do that as well. And next week, as I said, I'm so excited because this is a great time for us. I didn't realize in February 14th of 2021 that we'll be standing here a year later. We did it as a concept just to kind of help women on Valentine's Day to get through that day. And, you know, we wanted to let them know they wasn't by themselves and to show them that they are worth it and they are beautiful people, and don't let one day define who you are. And we went from that until we got an anniversary show. So we are going to celebrate. We are going to do the relationship show. So we have 4 gentlemen that's going to be joining us. So those shows are very, very interesting. So we'll be watching a Carla's face all the show.
Yeah.
If you want to be entertained on that show, just watch Carla Morgan the whole show. You'll be entertained. I tell you. I guarantee you that you'll be entertained. But something said, guarantee you, Carla's eyes cannot hide. She cannot hide her emotions.
This whole show, it's been so entertaining, Carla, watching you. You have kept me entertained this whole time.
What I tell you? Carla has a face for you. I'm telling you. And she doesn't hide it. She tries so hard. And it doesn't work.
It doesn't cooperate with what's going on. It's just, yeah.
As soon as somebody says something, she's like, so we're going to have 4 gentlemen. It's going to be actually, y'all, because, you know, Super Bowl is Sunday. So we have to do the show on Saturday because there's no one going to be watching it. I wouldn't be watching either. So, you know, we got to watch Dre, Snoop, and all of them. So, so we gonna do it Saturday evening at 7 p.m. same time, but just on Saturday instead of Sunday, because those brothers would not be on the show if we did it on a Sunday.
Right.
All right. So please join us for that. So I'm gonna go around the horn and give everybody a chance to talk. And then Rachel, if you want to, we have about less than 5 minutes, but I want you to talk about your morning rituals, and that could kind of help some people work out these things too to help them with their hair. So I'll start with you, and you could kind of give us a little bit about your morning rituals.
So I run a program, first and foremost, called Early Mornings with a Dose of Jesus, or EMDJ. I ask for 10 minutes, but the goal is 5 minutes or less. And my EMDJers are just telling me so many great things about how they are waking up earlier, getting more things done, and the relationship is growing with Christ. So they are really spiritually growing and enjoying EMDJ, because EMDJ's mission is to help Christians wake up earlier and get more done, be more productive, be more successful, all while starting with Jesus. And I have a real morning routine because I wake up, it starts at 6 a.m. Central Standard Timing. I wake up at 3 to have my private, quiet time with Jesus before I lead EMDJ. And I got to wash my face, brush my teeth, and I have to be physically up and awake to have my time with Jesus. Because honestly, before the brain tumor, I would lay in the bed and try to pray, and I'd be back asleep. So I had to learn to put my feet on the floor and get myself right. And that also comes with a hair routine as well. Before I go to bed, I have to put moisturizer on the hair, make sure it's wrapped nicely in my silk bonnet, or either wrapped, but I don't really wrap. So that's a different story for a different day. But I make sure my bonnet and everything is on. So I honestly wait until my quiet time is over before I take my bonnet off and everything. Before EMDJ, I take my bonnet off and shake out the hair a little bit. Mm-hmm. But having that morning routine just really helps me get my feet planted and activate or achieve growth in my relationship with God. And I think the brain tumor was the biggest blessing I could have ever asked for or had. Not that I would choose it, but it was the biggest blessing ever.
That's beautiful. That's beautiful. I mean, that's a great thing, morning rituals. Rose, you wanted to give us a final thoughts?
Well, I love braiding hair, so follow me on Rosie G Braids on Instagram. That's ROZZIEEBRAI.
We got you. There you go.
There you go.
We got you.
And when you go to my page, I do all kinds of braids. I do twists, I do sew-ins, I retwist locks. I do not start locks, but I can retwist locks. I do not do sister locks, but any other kind of braids I do. Crochet, individual crochet. I do sew-ins. I think I already said that. Did I already say that? But go to my page and you will see I'm there. Follow me, and you can inbox me if you want to book an appointment. Otherwise, I also like to start my mornings with a nice bike ride. That's actually my time with God. I love to exercise. I love to stay healthy. And I just went vegan. Yay.
All right.
So thanks again, Carla and Regina, for having me. And I really enjoyed it.
Good. Thank you. I'm glad you decided to do it.
And congratulations. Thank you.
Oh, no problem. Thank you so much. I really appreciate that.
Regina,
yeah. Uh-huh.
No, she was telling you. I thought she was talking.
Oh, no problem. But thank y'all. I really appreciate y'all being on the show. I know we have 2 more callers. We'll go ahead and hit those comments and we'll close out.
Sure. Now all says
thank you. Bless you too.
Donna Pazan says happy almost anniversary. Thank you,
Donna. Thank you.
And Kizzy Walkers has the heart emoji. So thank you.
Yeah, that's my cousin. Hey Kizzy, that's my cousin. Thank you for watching. I appreciate you, cuz. So, but yeah, this is beautiful. I had a great time. This has been a great show. We learned a lot about hair, and please, my final. Well, Carla, you have any final thoughts?
Just thank you. This is great. This is really entertaining. And I mean, and so much, I like talking to sisters about hair. I had to be on this show to talk to y'all. So this was great. Thank you so much.
And I would like to say, as I close, is be yourself, be happy, do not worry about others. And if you want to wear whatever you want to wear, be comfortable in whatever you want to do. So that would be my final thought. So as the next time, please invite a friend. And let's talk again. Until next time, God bless. We love you. Thank you so much for watching Let's Talk 1943. Yeah, have a good one.
Bye.